Hello guys, so today we're going to be doing a comparison between Racklet and Nute, the Thunder goalkeepers. I do want to point out a new one has just been released. She can kind of beat them, but it is more depending on what kind of line you run. So I'm not going to be talking about that in this video, but I have already been asked to do a review on her and I'll be doing that shortly. So let's start. What is the main difference between Racklet and Nute? Well, the thing is that in Racklet's kit, all she really specializes in is increasing her max life, who's actually very good for survival, and especially surviving that first shot. Now, again, you want to be careful because in her case, her nicest buff is going to disappear after 20 minutes. It's very similar to the Isilla buff, so this is kind of the idea. Now what you're going to notice is she also has a decent amount of critical resistance, so if you want, you can build on that, especially knowing what the Thunderstones are, but I don't have the greatest totems for it, and she has a lot of life. Now the one thing you're going to notice is that nowhere in her kit is there any form of damage resistance. So in a way, it's a blessing because that means any other form of damage resistance you add is actually just going to be directly added and is going to be in a way a much bigger buff than a goalkeeper who will already start with a high amount of damage resistance and you try to add a little bit more. Because then in the opposite side, you'll be trying to give them more life. So in Racklet's case, all you're trying to do really is to give her GR or critical resistance, whatever you're trying to run. But of course, giving her a bit more life can never hurt. This is why on average, Racklet's going to live 3 shots just because she has so much life. And sometimes you can move around, try any form of healing. Freya is also very popular in Mono Thunder. Racklet and Nute should both only be used in Mono Thunder. Now, Nute, as much as by base, even though we can't see them here, her base stats are a bit smaller than Racklet's. She has the advantage that you can transcend her 30 right away because she's a special boss, meaning you can farm that match like an animal and just get her maxed out for free. So there is that little difference that as much as Racklet's going to require investment, farming, GP, and even then you're never going to transcend 30 her unless you have one hell of a luck or you're really end game. Nute will actually be much easier in that state. She also has, especially for Mono Thunder, a very nice Ace Burst. I do want to point out some Ace Bursts are stronger than this, but still, decrease inflicted damage 35% is not bad. Then she has the active decrease inflicted damage from shot when used, 60%. 20 minutes is kind of too long, I would say. In that case, Racklet's active is better. Increase max life 35%. Defense 35%, critical resistance 20%. All that is pretty good. Decrease inflicted damage 20%, increase critical resistance, and pass effect 20%. So as much as it is weaker than Racklet's base kit, it doesn't specialize in one specific thing, which means whatever you buff, she's actually going to have a bigger effect. So especially when you start looking at chains, she has friendship, so we're just going to believe that you have Luca frontline, so you can also activate her chains quite easily. In Racklet's case, it's a little bit harder because the easiest ones are the Nemesis chains. There's a low chance you'll activate the friendship chain. And affection, I mean, some teams. So there's a higher chance she's going to get a chain. So in the end, between Racklet and Nute, I would say endgame-wise, a very well-built Racklet will have more survival, especially if you've got a form of healing compared to Nute. But early on, especially knowing how easy it is to farm Nute, I would say for beginning players to get Nute and later on transition to Racklet. Now there is a new Thunder goalkeeper. She does have a very interesting kit. So if you have the right players, you can even move to that. But investing in Nute at the beginning, doing that in one weekend, you can completely max her out. I would say it's just a great investment. If you have any other opinions about them, just write them down in the description. This was, again, just a little comparison that was asked of me. Have a good day, guys.